This week's edition of the Cartoon Show is sponsored by Zerlorg's Intergalactic Petting Zoo, where you can see animals that probably won't exist in 6 centuries.
Hey there, Jared, what's up?
Not much. Just been watching some Clarence via Disney Plus right now with my Amazon Fire Stick I got in here.
Oh yeah, I heard about all those Cartoon Network shows being on Disney Plus with a Hulu subscription now.
At least for the beta subscribers, because it's not going to be available for everyone until March. At least in March, but they may push it back. I don't know. That all depends on how they do this.
I decided that you and I should start our very own Cartoon Network Fanatics fan club between the two of us. So basically how you and I always talk about Cartoon Network when we do video calls on Instagram, I decided that maybe we can, turn this into something we can do for the internet. So since we're doing a pilot episode right now, I was thinking maybe we can talk about some of our favorite Cartoon Network pilots. I was thinking maybe we can talk about some of the ones that were available are still available on the Cartoon Network YouTube page. You remember that one called Welcome to My Life?
That one I've actually seen, I think, maybe once or twice, and I actually think it kind of gave me, Gumball vibes, sort of, because of the way the atmosphere was with that.
I think so. I've only seen, portions of the short. And I do like how it's all the characters are CG animated in a live-action environment. It's sort of like all the inhabitants are animated characters against, either, filmed on location or stock photos.
Yeah, it's like Gumball 2.0.
Sort of, but the main character isn't a blue cat with a big head. It's this character named T-Cash, who is a monster lizard sort of thing.
Yeah, his real name is Douglas.
Yeah, and I believe he's voiced by Doug Ito. And I actually do like how that the show is filmed like a documentary series. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Surf's Up, because that was an animated movie done in the style of a sports documentary.
Yeah, I feel like because of the Warner Brothers Discovery merger, I feel like this would have been a perfect fit for the new merger because of the Discovery side of the company being focused on the unscripted most of the time and all that. So maybe Welcome to My Life would have fit for that.
I actually did not even realize that Ian Jones-Quartey actually voiced the bully character. Well, not really bully, because he was just a misunderstood student who thought that T-Cash was insulting him when in fact he's complimenting him.
And we know Ian for Steven and KO.
Especially since there's a Ian Jones-Quartey lookalike on Steven Universe. So there's another pilot in here on this list. You know about that short Trick Moon?
Yeah, I've seen snippets of this one, and from my perspective, I know that this was one of those shows that a lot of people were just clamoring to have a show, but I think, to my knowledge, because of what happened at what was Warner Media at the time, being owned by AT&T, Cartoon Network could not greenlight the series because of the restructuring happening at the WM at the time.
And I did actually took a look at the short, and it's actually pretty cool. The characters actually do look and feel like if they were characters in OKKO. I mean, it does sort of have a mythical fantasy sort of thing, while keeping it a little bit modern by having the characters play video games and things like that. And it's actually created by Geneva Hogginson. Well, she did used to be a writer and a storyboard artist on OKKO. And I actually did not even know that one of the characters is voiced by Nathan Kress, who is known as Freddy in the iCarly franchise. You may not know this, but the character Pocket is actually voiced by Kath
Kate Susie.
She's actually known as one of the voiceover artists on Rugrats. Anyway, what about Danger Planet? Well, it's about an arcade machine and a forklift getting stranded on a very strange alien planet, and they have to protect a human baby. I'm not really sure where the baby came from. Yeah, it was actually created by Derek Dryman, who actually was a writer on countless SpongeBob SquarePants episodes and specials and movies and video games, and even a few reanimated collaborations. What about Pillywag's Mansion?
Oh, this is the one that's kind of like Muppet-esque, right?
Yeah, because Pretty much, the live-action cast is made up of puppets. They have the rods and the arms and the live-action hands and the same. And many of the puppeteers actually worked on previous Jim Henson Company productions, like Drew Massey and Alan Troutman and Tim Blaney. And judging by the creator used to be the voice of Benson on the regular show, along with Muscle Man and many other voices, I'm pretty sure this would have been like a big hit.
But would it work as a Cartoon Network show? Maybe, but if it was looked at today, and if it was made today, I'm pretty sure it would probably be an original for Max, possibly.
Anyway, the next pilot I have on my list is AJ's Infinite Summer, created by Toby Jones, who was a storyboard artist on regular show, and helped create the OKKO Lakewood Plaza Turbo mobile app, and became a supervising director on OKKO Let's Be Heroes.
I've heard of Toby Jones, and if I'm correct on this one, I think this one's about like some kind of kid who ends up like going to a part of some like business company or something, but looking at it today, it's kind of ominous.
Because it's basically like the situation going on at Warner Brothers Discovery.
I'm not going to say anything about that there.
What about Sunshine Brownstone? Have you seen that one?
This one is possibly the weirdest one, because in a way, please pardon my language, quote unquote, this is kind of like a middle finger to preschool programming in a way, because it's just the way it was created and all that stuff, and it was just like, what?
Yeah, it's basically a preschool show gone wrong. Yeah, I can see how this is sort of like a preschool show, because Gene, the title character, is teaching a balloon how to pretend when he's supposed to be fixing a leaky pipe, which ends up flooding the entire Sunshine Brownstone.
Yeah, so just to make it short, this is just my question. Is this supposed to be a preschool programming, or kind of like an imposter of Jellystone? Like, what was that?
What about a Legendary Place? It's created by Calvin Wong, who was a writer, storyboard artist, and supervising director on regular show, Apple and Onion, and the only aired once, Long Live the Royals miniseries. It takes place at a Chinese restaurant where a perfect delivery record is proudly displayed, but with a health inspector on the horizon, two characters, Arnold and Mel, must maintain the legacy of their father and stay open for business or they'll be shut down for good. Yeah, and Cartoon Network's all about showing different cultures and backgrounds and things like that.
You could tell that to Craig.
What about Splitting Time?
I think I've heard of this one. I think it's like the mother and the father of these two children are like in completely different times. One is like in the past or something like that, and one of them is like from far distant into the future. And I think one of the kids has to deal with like trying to think of the decision of trying to spend his birthday party or something like that.
Sort of like deciding which parent you want to spend your birthday with because your parents are divorced. While one is living in the 27th century and the other is living in the 90s. What about Potts and Branwell? Have you seen that one? It's actually pretty interesting. It's about these two kid detectives who are going undercover to solve a mystery of who is robbing or stealing a bunch of soup from school cafeterias. Kind of gives me like Spy Kids or Codename Kids Next Door vibes. Since it was about kids going undercover to stop adult villains. What about Mushroom and the Forest of the World?
I think it's about like Mushroom, and he's like going on this quest in like some kind of a forest or something. But then there's like this one character who's like has like a terrible vocal cord and has the inability to sing or something like that.
You're talking about the bird, right?
I think that, and then the quest is like, it goes on to find a way to cure the voice, but then things get progressively worse or something like that?
Actually, I think it's about one of the characters teaching the bird how to sing. Sort of like a show that takes place in nature.
It's kind of giving me Ivanhoe vibes.
Sort of, but at least the characters are not all anthropomorphic animals.
True.
Okay, there's only one more short on this list that we can talk about, and that is something called Bottom's Butte?
Oh no, this one is very questionable to me, and it's about this teacher. I think her name is like Beverly or something, and then something happens in her hair, like in the back of her hair, and it causes her to shrink down or regress down into the teenager roots of her life, and she starts like her own mansion or something like that with Peanuts, like her best pal or something like that. But again, that's the least of the problems with this, because what the heck is the title card? What is the title card?
Why does the title card kind of remind me of that title card from that Disney short form series, Go Baby? So, which of these shorts do you think would have been perfect for a Cartoon Network original series, Jared? Any...
Out of all those, I really do think that Welcome to My Life would have been, like, the most crowd-pleasing. At least for, like, audience-wise, because, I really do think that, like how I mentioned Pillywag or whatever his name is, how that could be a Max original, because there's actually a couple of Max originals that have been in Latin America, and they actually just recently premiered here in the US, so I'm thinking maybe that could start as a Max original, because there's one that's like a stop-motion animated series. I forgot the name of it because it's like all Latin or something like that, but I really do think that puppet one would be a good Max original, and then Welcome to My Life, judging by the standards of WBD today, I really do think that Welcome to My Life would have been good for the network.
Many of these shorts have gotten, like, Daytime Emmy Award nominations and good feedback during, like, animation festivals and things like that. I mean, a lot of them have been getting positive feedback.
I think there's some of them that may have gotten mixed feedback, but I'm pretty sure there's a couple or so in there that would have been good, but like I said, some of them may have been made ahead of their time.
Honestly, I would have loved to see a full version of Welcome to My Life and Pillywag's Mansion. Maybe even that mushroom thing. That would have been pretty interesting to see.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows? Maybe someday Cartoon Network will look back at these shorts and make them into full series.
But that all depends.